My name is G.S. Bailey and I do military drills. And today we're going to be taking a look, believe it or not, at triangles. So there's a few schools of thought on this, and we were in the general chat in Pyware's Facebook group. We have a general chat there where we ask Dustin Merrill all sorts of questions and probably annoy him to death. But in this instance, somebody, I can't remember who it was, asked about how to do a triangle, and there's a whole lot of different answers to this, but I'm going to show you probably the easier way to do it. And there's two kinds you can do. You got to know your geometry. Okay, number one is what's called a 45-45-90 triangle. That's a right triangle. And a military band can actually do that really easily. And the second one, we'll see, and that one I'm not quite so sure because I've never plotted it for a military band before, is a 60-60-60 equilateral triangle. But remember, we have to go through geometry. We're going to use the Pythagorean theorem today. I had a training today, and they said, do you remember what the Pythagorean theorem was? When was the last time you used it? Well, here we are. We got to use it. All right, so let me get my real view done just right here because I always have to set it just right. It's got to be that right angle, and sorry, that was a pun. It has to be at the correct angle here. I just can't today. Here we go. It has to be at the correct angle, and the bottom part of this red here's got to line up just perfect with the bottom of this with the bottom of the window. Okay, and so I spend hours upon hours doing this. Okay, so let's first make the equilateral triangle. Again, geometry is your friend. In an equilateral triangle, here's the math, okay? All of the angles are the same, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. This is because all of the angles of a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees, okay? So, in an equilateral triangle, all the angles are the same. What that also means, I'm rocking the boat here because I've got my phone plugged in as my camera. So if it collapses, you'll see an edit if it collapses. So what you'll see is with the angles the same, the sides by default have to be the same. So let's make a line. Kaboom. Hey, why not? 9 people. We got to clone it 2 more times, right? 2 times. Accept. And we're almost there, believe it or not. Now, this is probably going to be my easiest one to make the base out of, so we're just going to use it and like that. Okay, so there's the base of our triangle. Now, let's make our sides here. Actually, that is going to do really well, isn't it? Okay, now you can see here. You can see here it's not correct, but morph is your friend. And you also have to remember where the middle of the equilateral triangle's base is. This is important because you want to line them up with that. Okay. Now we want, I think that's about right, isn't it? That looks about right. As my good friend Tim Husky says, you can make it a slightly weirdo isosceles triangle, but if you make it look sloppy, everybody and their brother's going to know. So, but I'm kind of satisfied with that, believe it or not. But I don't think a military band would do it. Let's see if we can get them on the grid. Let's just see if we can get them really good on the grid without making it extremely bad. No, we can't. Okay. So that does look about right, don't it? Again, I know I'm stretching this out. I'm trying to be a perfectionist here, aren't I? Let's get this other part in first. And then we'll see what happens, right? So let's move them all. Let's move them all over here first. And then remember, whoops, wrong tool, morph is your friend. We're going to delete everything except those two handles because I forgot to explain why. That's what I did wrong. That is exactly what I did wrong. And look at that. They are on the grid. Yes, they are on the grid. Okay. Stop, full stop, delete F here, and I'm going to have to make that match this. Doink. And actually, yeah, that's it. So from here, let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's see how it is on the field. And as you can see right now, it looks kind of incomplete, but that's just because I haven't done my toppers yet, okay? And I do believe I probably made nice oscilles here doing this. Okay, so we are going to just keep on a going here. No, I'm just going to make my dot tool. Okay, so, ooh, how are you matched up to that squad? I'll never know. And we'll make a top, and we'll make one right there, and one right there. Maybe. Whoa. What happened? Don't know. Okay, so now I'm not going to select anybody. Maybe I did that, but I just made an error. Happens all the time. Happens all the time, and you know what they say, only Zeus is perfect. Okay, so... yeah. Well, they're almost on the grid, aren't they? They've almost made it. I think I can put one more person down here. No, I really can't. That's lopsided. No wonder. Yeah, this part's lopsided. I see that now. I know I'm being overly perfectionist, but let's just say that I can be right now. You need to come in by 1. That's all I had to do. Okay, now it's right, and I can delete. Yeah, yep. Don't have to delete a soul. Good. So we have our filled-in triangle, and I never did make my military red people here. So you get a special treat. You get the Pyware default uniforms. Sorry. So let's take a look at this from an angle here. And you can see they're pretty far back. I'm going to bring them up front just so you can see the verticality of this. Okay, so here is our triangle as it exists right now. And remember, I'm going to bring her up. Just make them 4 off the sidelines. Let's just pretend we're going to end it that way, right? So we're going to expand this back out. And let's see what it looks like from all sorts of little different angles, because the deal is the judge's box is not the most important spot to write to. So you can see here, and this is probably about where these stands are. Okay, if I pull back just a hair, yep, that's going to be about, if I actually lower it down just a hair more. And this is the view from those lower stands. Okay, if you're right there in those lower stands, and that's the verticality of the triangle here. Now, let's get rid of this. Now, we're going to get rid of this triangle right here, so I'm going to delete. I'm sorry, y'all. Bye. Wave bye. Bye. Here they go. All right, now, we're going to make a right triangle. A right triangle is a 45, 45, 90. There's the whole Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and c squared is the hypotenuse, which is, you've got your right angles like this. Okay, and I'm going to have to come back here to my studio and make sure that you can see the right angle. Okay, so we got our right angle. Okay, and now what you got to do, all you got to do after you make this angle is connect from point here. I got to point with my nose, sorry, to point here. Okay, that's all you got to do. So first construct the right angle. Here we go. And let me go 45 to 45 like that. And remember, you have to clone. You clone one time. Oh, there you are. There they are. Okay, and the reason why I cloned it is, again, it's because it's an isosceles triangle. Two angles in an isosceles are congruent. Okay, that means they're the same. But that also means that the two sides that the angles point to, those angles by default have to be, those sides have to be the same length by default. Okay. Now, so we're going to rotate these guys around and then I'll place them down. Okay, here we are, and let's move them in. All right, make sure you're 2 down from there. All right, now I'm going to have to double check here because this corner person's going to be a hard one. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have to delete one person. Bye-bye. Wait, bye-bye again. Bye-bye. All right, now I have to hit delete. All right. Now, what we got to do here, we just got to connect point A to point B. Now, the easy way to do that, if you really want to know, is to just go bam, bam like that. But because I deleted that 9th person, I'm just going to have to add the 9th again. Like that. And this one like that. 1, 2. And the spacing for this is a little weird. Okay, so I know it's about 14 positions. Really, I don't think it's going to be that much. Now, this is what it's going to look like, though, from a core band view. Because take a look here, your hypotenuse is not on the grid. Okay, so that's the cheating way to do it. But you remember, your hypotenuse is not on the grid, and that person's actually a hair over the line. But you can fix that later. Right. Now, let's undo that move because it was done wrong. Now, so I'm going to insert like this. You come down like that, like it's a box. Okay. And then we're going to use morph because morph is our best friend. Okay, and I'm going to move each individual point only because I have extreme problems and I have to handle it this way, so my apologies. Okay, there we go. We've made a good little diagonal, and as you can see here on this set, it's within the grid. So yes, a military band can use this particular triangle, which is a 45, 45, 90 isosceles right triangle. And here's what it looks like from up in this area. Okay, now I am going to, can I do this without showing you a dialog box? Let's just see here. No, that wasn't right. I have to go here, the visual editor. Does that overwrite this screen? No, it does not. That is so nice. Okay, now let's make sure. Okay, so I can change out the uniform and you won't even know that I'm going through my list of stuff here to change the uniform. Today I learned something. And that's only because of OBS Studio. Okay, so we've got Choco with Plum. So I need to find my red Choco because I just have to. I'm sorry. Apply changes. X out of U. Now let's see if it changed here. Yes, it did. Yay! All right, so that's the basics of how to construct the triangles here, and I hope that you've at least learned something. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe. That is the best way to support a very small channel like myself. Always like and subscribe when you learn something. That way it comes back, you might learn something again. And in any event, have a great evening and happy drilling. Bye-bye.